Hello, beautiful beings. Hi, Big White Bear. How you doing today? Um, I was. I feel like I keep saying like every single day that I'm a little late for Friday streams because it's in the morning, and then saying some reason like I got stuck in a side quest or I had trouble getting out of bed. Today I was a little late because I was putting on a little outfit. So, hi, Stars. Hi, Cap. Good to see you. Stars, you should use your command. Because I believe Sleepy is at work and Shawnee is indisposed. Shawnee's been sick. Um. Oh, good. I'm glad the day is going okay, Cap. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I don't have a brain. I don't need one. Like, who cares? There's Shawnee. Hi, Shawnee. Um. So, a couple things. We're gonna finish this painting today, for one. I'm glad you're alive, Shawnee. I've missed you. I'm glad you're hanging in. The postcards and greeting cards are live in the shop now. So we have 5 different postcards that you can get. You can also get a pack of all 5. Yes, you're part of the crew now, Blib. Hey, Carol. Um, so we've got these postcards are available in the shop. You can see the back too if you'd like to. I made the back as well. And then we also have blank greeting cards. Some of the designs are the same as the postcards, specifically the Alaska ones, because you know people be liking a little travel postcard. Is what I learned from my pull on Tumblr. So those are available in the shop now. You can get the individual designs. There's also a pack available of all the designs. So, grab them. There aren't a huge amount to start out with because I'm gauging, like, interest. So if you really, really want these, you should probably get them right away. I'm not saying that to, like, pressure you. I'm just saying I don't know if they're going to be a regular item in the online shop. They'll probably be available as wholesale locally, is my plan for the Alaska ones, but if certain designs don't do very well, they will not be reordered. So if there's one that you really, really like, you should get it. Yeah, so we're gonna finish this guy today, hopefully. If we don't finish it today, then I don't know. Maybe we work on it on Tuesday, because that's like the last time I'm gonna be able to for the month. But I would like to get that done a little earlier. I'm realizing I also forgot to bring out the new stickers that I printed with me, but that's okay. You guys can stay in suspense for that one. I did print out and get all of the June Sticker Club stickers packed. So that's set to go. The May stickers are set to go. If you've been part of my sticker club for a significant amount of time, you'll be getting a bunch of stickers this month. So that I don't have to worry about sending as many out after surgery. And like, if like the worst that happens in this instance is, ooh, the contrast on my hand is interesting. What was I saying? Hi, Grim. Like the worst that happens is I gave somebody a free sticker who has supported me in the past, and I'm not that worried about it. I would much rather not have to worry about shipping out stickers when I'm prepping for and directly after surgery. So we're just gonna get all those out at once. And if you get a freebie, you get a freebie. It's fine. Alright, I'm doing a stretchy, Grim. I will do a hydrate. Something nice about myself. Ooh, that was my shoulder popping. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase something. I have an idea. Like, I'm very good at maximizing my materials. I think that's a good way to put it. So I told you guys that I was doing um, some more little snowflakes and roses for like the same stickers for the ceiling stickers um, for the envelopes. So I've got big sheets that I'm doing different colors in. And I realized that I also have the stuff that I need to make those into necklaces. So I could take each little, and I made them the right size without thinking about it. The painting looks great. My hands look atrocious. I don't know. I think I prefer the painting to look good. But I realized that I made them the correct size to be able to punch out the circle that I've done the painting in, and then put them in a blank pendant and cover them with resin to sell them as like original art pendants. And I'll be able to do those at like all at once, so it'll be a nice little addition to sell stuff while also like doing something that I needed to do for work anyway. So it's like, as Goose would say, two birds, one scone. Except maybe it's like three birds, one scone. So that's good. I will say this isn't like yeah, pretty much. I love that, honestly. And I do that in other people's chats too. I'm sure if you see me in other people's channels, I'm always, if somebody comes in, I say hello directly to them. Um I don't know, I just like it when it's like a community and not just me talking at you, you know? I think that's nicer. I will say this is not an insult, but I tried a different syrup mix in my coffee, and it's atrocious, so I might not be finishing my coffee today. Um, as I was talking to Sleepy about it earlier, so I mixed coconut and peach today, because I was like, why would that not be good? Turns out that if you mix the coconut and the peach, it tastes like somebody tried to make an artificial flavoring of fresh cut grass smell. Graham, you're ridiculous. There are like multiple examples. Like, how many discords do you run, Grim? Hmm? How many? It's at least 3 that I know of. Oh, also I'm wearing black lipstick today, so you might end up seeing little black mouth marks on all my straws. Which is why I put on a little outfit. Was because I wanted to try my new black lipstick. And, like, you can't just try black lipstick. You have to do a whole outfit. How so, Grim? Was it just not sending your message? It's been doing that more often, but I like that it actually tells you that it does that now. um... I have anything else to say? I don't know. I don't know anything, okay? I'm just a little guy. I can't be expected to know things. Only 2? I thought it was 3. Because you have the 2 idiots and a dog. You have your like backup one, and then you have your Dungeons and Dragons one, yeah? Why does it not count? That's a community of people who want to hang out with you. I think you're just being difficult because you don't want to believe that you actually have friends. Like, I may be a brat, but you're being a brat. No, you're just saying things don't count for no purpose. Like, you're just trying to make an argument that doesn't work, and so you're trying to find loopholes. Yes, Grim, coordinate multiple games, each of which is a community who wants to spend time with you. Why do you think that it's not a community? Stars is also correct. And as a matter of fact, Stars and I both said that we trusted you enough to be a mod for our server. So. Do you only consider it a community if you're in charge of something? I mean, that can't be the case, because if so, then... That can't be the case, because if so, then your D&D one would count. See, I think that you're just doing, like, a hopscotch routine around realizing that people actually like you and want to spend time with you. Grim knows this can of worms well. This, I don't think it's even a can of worms at this point. I think it's like a Tupperware container of worms, because Grim has opened it so many times. It isn't just for the games, though. It's also for Lily to deal us all psychic damage. Yeah, it's a branded server for a community of people who want to listen to you talk. Okay, fine. If we're gonna do it this way, how many Discords are you a member of that you talk regularly? Because it's more than just 2. I did bring those brushes back out. I did good. I had my other paintbrushes in my room because I was working on those snowflakes yesterday. And I think really I just need to get another set of this size because I use it so often. There's also another one that should be here somewhere that I should get more of. This one? No. Where is it? I know I brought it out here. So there is at least 3 groups of people who enjoy your company. There it is. Just blind. I'm just saying that there are plenty of people who want to spend time with you and seek you out to do so, which is part of being a community. And I think technically we could count, like, if we're gonna go Grim Brat mode here, I think we could technically count Stars and I's Discord as 2 separate communities that want you as part of it. Because, like, we do have some overlap, but it's not 100% overlap. There is a Venn diagram aspect there. So. And I know plenty of other people who you don't show up in regularly who are very happy when they see you. So I think you are once again discounting your importance in other people's life because you have brain worms. A grim diagram. Excellent, Cap. What was I doing? I was pulling up my reference image. That's what I was doing. There you are. Man, so I said that I had another project that I wanted to get done this month. And I know, because Cap and I talked about it, I know it's one of the reasons Cap voted for the color of the month, the way that he voted. And I don't know that I'm going to get to it, but do you guys want to see what I have for it so far? Cap knows. Nobody else knows, because I haven't talked to anybody else about this. I mean, Grim, there was a time when you could have, and you still didn't, so. Okay, so, Cap shared this reel with me a while back, which I did not save, which was poor planning on my part. where the person wanted you to create a Pokemon based on the opposite of your favorite color. Oh, that's not true, Grim. He always makes those. That's part of the reason I started flirting with him as hard as I did. I like a pun. Where is... There it is. Here's the, like... I have, like, a... This is a mess, though. It's almost like... I wasn't going to show this to anybody. Where's that layer? What layer are you? Good lord. But, so your favorite animal, which I have a lot, so I just picked one. The opposite of your favorite color, the color of your favorite fruit, based around a hobby that you do. And then, to pick the type, you would pick your favorite type or both favorite types. And, pick something that is super effective against it. So, I'm working on designing a Pokemon based off of these things. So I picked a goat, as you might gather from this. This is like knit fabric here, so I'm going off of a like sewing and fiber arts Pokemon. I picked raspberry as my favorite fruit, and then the opposite of my favorite color, mint, is kind of like a peachy color. And then my favorite types are fire and fighting. And so I picked ground and psychic as the opposites, quote unquote, to that, because I thought a goat should be hard-headed, which I thought that fit. So I started designing the actual goat. I've decided on the name Patchleet as I was poking with it, but this is our little guy that I'm working on. I'm not fully happy with it yet. Like, clearly the line work isn't done. I've just been working on stuff. But he has like little patches, and then he has pins in his little tail, and he's got crochet hooks for horns. Obviously he's screaming. He's also got like a sewing chatelaine as a necklace, so he's got little sewing materials attached. Like, if you guys know what a chatelaine is, it's like a little accessory thing that you can attach to your belt, and oftentimes those had sewing materials, so little scissors, a thimble, a little like needle case, sometimes a knife, stuff like that. So this is where it's at. I don't think I'm gonna get it finished this month, because we're running out of months. And I've been doing a lot of other work this month too. So but yeah, this was going to be something this month because the maroon color match, or not maroon, magenta color matched with the fruit color that I picked. So yeah, we'll see if I manage to get this done. But obviously he had to be screaming. Like, I want him to have like a bunch of, if I was going to pick moves for it, I would want it to have like a bunch of the sound-based moves as well. And maybe a couple steel moves, just because of like the needles and stuff. But yeah, that's my little guy that I've been working on. I've been trying to figure out how to make him look like actual patchwork and less like read less like Frankenstein. And I think putting like a fabric pattern on the spots and then having a knit pattern for like the body is the way to go. But that's going to be a color thing, so I haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, this was the other thing that I wanted to do that I don't know that I'm getting to do. Which is funny because that was like part of the reason that I wanted that color to win. But you know, we don't always have as much time as we think we do. And especially me, because I have the brainworms. But yeah. Oh, you could make that joke in public, Grim. It doesn't matter. Like, everybody knows. I'm not subtle about this, especially not in other people's streams. So, you know, you could just say that, Grim. You're fine. All right, good luck with work, Tap. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for popping in. And like honestly, with both me and Sleepy in chat, I think that that's even better joke to make, honestly. Okay. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Yes. Okay, these two are two separate ones that I need to work on carving out. They're just kind of overlapped. We also have more shading to do on literally all of these. I do also think that I need to work at making the stem make a little more sense. So I think I need to like have this extend and blur it a little so that you know that this leaf is attached to it. Because right now it doesn't really read as realistic. It's just kind of like a weird shape. And normally, like if I had been doing this, I don't know, 4 years ago, I wouldn't have worried about that. But I will worry about a weird shape that seems to not make sense now because somebody will see that and accuse me of using AI art. Which, yes, it's ridiculous, but alas, this is the world that we live in. So I get to worry about that. I'm just going to extend this out a little bit and like not render it as fully. Like maybe just do that and that'll be fine. We've got a couple spots in here where it's not clear that it like goes behind the leaf and such. So I love that fake art, so to speak. We've had the discussion about what I consider real art, and that's not the issue with AI to me. But it really annoys me that I have to consider that with like the actual physical art I'm making. But I realized that the other day, and I was like, well, shit. Guess I'll just go fuck myself then. I think if I just make it a little bit so that it makes a little bit more sense, then it won't be as glaring of I mean, really, it's a style choice, but I'm not allowed to do that because of the world we live in. I love it here. How's everybody else doing? I don't think I asked that yet. I just like went off rambling and then we all attacked Grim. Hi, Wiggle. Good to see you. Okay. I don't know where I want to start. I think maybe the answer is my brain doesn't want to start. But that's too bad for my brain, because we gotta. Ooh, nice, Sleepy. I believe Cap has gone back to work fully. But I will tell him that you said hello later, Wiggle. Decisions. We could work on carving these out a little bit as well. So I'm trying to, I don't know, I guess I would call this a looser feel than the other flowers I've done in the past, which means I don't want to use a teeny tiny brush and make 6 million lines. To get the petal texture like I usually do, I want to like I just don't wanna. It takes forever, and we've already taken forever on this. Which like isn't really like an issue, but I need to get this done by the end of the month. So that becomes an issue. If I wasn't doing this for Patreon, then we might, take another month at it, but and it's kind of dawning on me slowly how rapidly my surgery is approaching. Which I'm honestly not nervous about the surgery. I'm nervous about having to wake up as early for it as I do. But I mean, it's not like I really need to be awake when I'm there, because they're just gonna knock me out. So. I have to be like at the hospital at 5:30 in the morning, which is really early. Hi Bean, glad to see you're live. I also think the way this connects is not correct. It's going to help to make the edge here a little bit more saturated, so that it doesn't feel like such a harsh line. Oh man, I was gonna... So this band, ACS, is one of my favorites, and they released a new album today. Well, today, they've been like putting little bits out, but I think they started the like official merch and stuff for it today. So I got an email, and I still haven't listened to it. Maybe I'll do that after stream today. I have other stuff I need to do, but it's like something I could do while I was sitting there listening to music and actually paying attention to it. And I considered like checking to see if it was on Spotify and then being like, do you guys want to listen to this album for the first time with me? But I don't think that I would focus on it correctly is my issue. Maybe I'll use a little bit of this. There. Okay, Shani. Let's try to pull this up off of that pedal a little bit. And I can carve that back out. Because it was feeling see-through because I didn't lift the pigment off before I started putting stuff over it. What size brush is this also? Because I should just order more of them. I should put those on my throne. Oh, I updated some stuff on my throne too. I guess that's the other thing I did. Specifically because BP keeps asking everybody what kind of Legos they would want. So I thought about it and I was like, I will put these on my throne because at some point BP will want to buy me Legos. So I'll just be prepared. I Alright, have a good lurk, Sleepy. The little, I don't know what these are called, the bulbs on the end of the stamen. There's probably some really fancy specific name. Have like these interesting little ridges in them that I want to try to capture, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to at this size. But we will try. I find them intriguing. You sure can't see them on stream right now, I think they're too small. I can see them with my eyes because I can zoom in with my face. Yeah. I think I do these dark ones, and then I use a little bit of that wisteria to do highlights on them, and then that will make it look a little bit more full, I guess. Give it the depth that I'm looking for. Yeah, that already looks better. Okay. I love these little brushes for doing details, but you cannot mix color with them very well, which makes it, it makes sense. It's a freaking liner brush. You aren't supposed to be mixing color with it, but it makes my life difficult. That feels a little better. What else do I really want to do on this guy? Because we need to get the base flower down, then we peel up the blue bit, the masking fluid, and then we'll work on water drops, which will also have me making a lot of weird noises because water drops don't make sense. Like, I don't understand how their colors work the way that they do. It confuses me. Which is part of the reason why I chose this reference in specific. Because I wanted to do something a little challenging for me. So I chose the bokeh light background, and then I chose water droplets. Which, to be fair, the reference has both of those, but I looked at the reference and I was like, that's going to be hard as fuck for me to do. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We ball. I think I've also made these feel like really separate pieces, and they aren't necessarily separate pieces. I'm gonna just get that a little wet and smudge it around a bit. Yeah, I think that's a little better. As it does have the highlight right there, but a little different. There's also like a delineation I was gonna say here, you can't see because it's in my head. Like right through here, about where the like petals came from. So I'm gonna just do a little line there. Kind of does that. Me, I won't make a bunch of lines. Starts making a bunch of tiny lines. It's fine. It's fine. We aren't doing it for the whole thing. Okay, now we'll get to work on the sky. Whose color I am changing pretty drastically because that's what looks good. I'm going to change the shape, and I think that I'm going to change it back a little bit, because between you and me, chat, the way I was shading that, even though it would have been correct for that shape I was making, really read like a ball sack, and I don't particularly want that in here. Like, not that I have anything against ball sacks, but just not right now, okay? Well, let's peel some of that up and try again. It's more like this comes out here and then wraps around. I'm probably going to have to let this dry and then we can get back to it. That's better. Okay. I want to bring a little bit of that back in. Yeah, better. Okay. I do think I want to add some more pink on the side petals here. Because they've ended up getting quite yellow because I was trying to get the like vibe of the light shining through. But I think doing another layer of pink will make it match the middle a little bit better. And still kind of like have that lighter effect because we've got that yellow underneath there. I think maybe my computer has some sort of update running in the background because the camera is far behind what I'm doing. Not super far behind, but far behind enough that it is distracting to me. I think that's tonally better. Well, no, I shouldn't do that yet because that's still wet. We can add a little bit more pigment up here to pull that together. That's good. Okay. Better. I also think when I go back here, we need to work on this spot right here because it makes it look like the petal kind of has an indent that it doesn't. Okay. I think it's time to move on to working on this guy while those pieces dry. And then we'll go back to it. There's another kind of like delineation line right here, like there was on the other one. So trying to make sure I keep that because there is like a pretty significant highlight right through there. I just gotta pay attention to it. Honestly, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to finish this today. But I think we're at the point where it's not going to be too bad. Like, if anything, what'll happen is I'll get to the water drops and then decide that we can work on that next time. But that will be like a choice and not because I can't finish it today. It's always so hard to tell like what stuff is going to take forever. I did not expect this painting itself to take as long as it has. But that's because I keep messing with it to try and get it to like what I want it to be. Versus just letting it exist however I made it, you know? Because there was some specific stuff I wanted to work on with this, so. I need to put some more magenta back in here, I think. I've been lightening up these quite a bit with some opera pink. Well, I do think that looks good. That is not the color of the month. But I don't think it's enough that I really need to worry about it. Am I still going to worry about it? Mayhaps. We shall discover. But he does feel a little off-kilter. At least compared to the reference. I don't think it looks like unnatural, but... Welcome back, Shawnee. Oh, I remember what I was doing when I pulled out my phone at the beginning of stream. I was going to show you guys my little outfit. Because that's why I was late to stream today. That was the excuse. I say late to stream. I started at 10:29 when the schedule says 10:30. I just usually start earlier than that. Or I like to start earlier than that. Actually, I want to crop that photo first, I think. And then you guys can see it. I took it really fast while I was setting up for stream. So it is not centered. But now it's centered because I changed it. My hair is also very frizzy today, which is neither here nor there. It's fine. I do that and then immediately forgot, as you do. You know how it is. Because I don't think there's a single neurotypical person that follows me and speaks in my chat on a regular basis. Us neurodivergents like to gather together in groups. And I like that I brought my little spray bottle out here and then didn't use it at all. It's fine. I'll want it if I clean up my palette at any point. I think if I pull this out a little bit more, that will feel better. I do think that as we're working on the flowers more, it really is feeling like the background is just out of focus and then we have our flowers in focus, which is what I was looking for. So I'm really happy with that. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to like get that across very well just because I hadn't really done it before, but I think it's good. I think we were successful in this endeavor. Honestly, I don't know if I need to work on that guy much more. I think I need to work on the like stem area here a little bit more, but I think the petals down here itself are pretty correct. Maybe deepening the shadow right through here just a little bit. Alright. Hi, Potato! You should get food. It doesn't matter what time it is. If you have not eaten, you should eat. Correct times to eat are fake. The correct time to eat is whenever you eat food. I'm guessing part of the reason you said something was because you knew I was going to tell you to go eat, and so it would override the part of your brain that was telling you to not eat. Just a guess, though. Yep. Part of the reason I feel this is crooked is this little bump right here. So let's just erase that a little, and then maybe I'll feel better. Yeah, that looks better already. Okay, let me just add a little bit of green back in here. That feels a bit better. Still a little crookedy, but not like crooked. Yep, exactly, Shawnee. Okay, let's work on our little not a ball sack over here. If you weren't here for me saying it, I changed the shape of this a little bit because the way I was rendering it made it look like a ball sack, and I was not a fan of that in my painting. We changed the shape a little bit. Which also means we have to go back and change it a little bit more. It's going to involve a couple layers, I think. Yeah, I think that's looking better. Sorry, thinking Shawnee's saying unless surgery, requires it, got me thinking about surgery prep again. I don't know exactly what I'm going to need to do. I'm assuming no eating, which is part of the reason I weaned myself off of that one antidepressant I was on. So I've only been using the one instead of the combo that I was using for a bit. Because the one has withdrawal symptoms, and I didn't really want to deal with that if I was also having surgery and couldn't take the meds that morning. So we'll see if I decide to start it back up again or not. I do think that it was helping, definitely in a way this other one isn't, but the side effects from that one are also like way worse than what I'm currently on. So it's going to be a balancing act. It's going to be a decision about which I prefer. But that's not a decision I have to make now. So it is one I get to ponder for a bit. Okay. I wanted to fix that back pedal too, but I need to wait until that's dry. That's why I wasn't doing that. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, hot chocolate is delicious. Well, chocolate is delicious no matter the temperature is maybe a faster way to say the sentence I was going to say. But honestly, I think you just made double hot chocolate, right? Because if you use chocolate milk to make your hot chocolate, then you've got double the chocolate for half the price, you know? Which doesn't seem like a bad thing. I think I need to chill this highlight farther down now that I'm looking at the reference again. Which is easy peasy. Not a big deal. Like that. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I think the stamens look like okay, but I'm still feeling like they aren't as defined as I might like, but I think that's just my brain trying to do a style that I decided I wasn't going to do for this. So I think I'm gonna leave that. And once I finish it, if I still feel that way, I might change it a little bit more. Yeah, it's not the worst though. Like, it just means you have to drink your chocolate milk faster, which again doesn't seem like a great punishment or anything, you know? I should. Sorry, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I was going to say, I should get a little piece of paper towel so I can wipe the lipstick off of my straws. That's what I was doing. So that I don't, eat a huge amount of lipstick. Like, it's fine to eat some lipstick, but it does taste kind of weird. In general. And if I do that, it'll keep me from messing up the lipstick more, so. BP! I was talking about you earlier, BP. For your ears, pardon? I think this shadow looks a little funky right here. I think I need to change that a little bit. I think just bringing that all the way over will help. Like that. Oh, I was saying that I updated my throne because I specifically added Legos because I knew that at some point in your life, when you're capable of doing so, you're going to want to get me Legos. So I was like, I will be prepared so that whenever BP decides he needs to get me Legos, it'll be there and ready. So I was saying I should get more of these paintbrushes too, was how my throne came up. And I was like, I should put those on my throne. Oh, speaking of, I did change my throne yesterday. I also added different categories to my throne yesterday, finally. Thank you, Potato. I worked really hard on those. It's like a bokeh light effect that's in my reference image, and I was like, I bet I could do that. And then I struggled with it for 2 streams. And now it looks good. So thank you. I'm glad that you like them because I worked really hard on them. But yeah, there's 3 options for you, BP, whenever you get there. And I highly doubt anybody's going to buy me all 3 of those before you can. But if they do, I will pick out something else for you to get me specifically. Because I figure doing like, if I get Legos, doing like a Lego build stream wouldn't be bad. Especially with the ones that I picked because they're like relatively small bits. Because I really like the bouquet ones that they have where you make little Lego flowers. I think those would be cute. Okay. Now what? I think I messed with this a little bit more because, yeah, that's dried up. I think what I really need to do is use one of these more opaque colors. Yes, I agree with that, BP. And me putting those there is not me saying you should get those for me. It's me saying I know that as a friend, this is something you like to do. So whenever that is wise for you to do, it will be there for you. So yeah, I know you have other stuff to worry about right now. I definitely would rather you take care of yourself, and I think you know that, but I will also say it outright, just in case. Yeah, that's better, and does not look like a ball sack. We win there, chat. I do like this skirt. The skirt that I'm wearing. Yeah, I ended up making this little inner part that has 2 petals. I changed the shape a little bit because I wasn't looking at my reference. And I looked at it again and I was like, it really looked like a ball sack. So I was like, we're going to scrub that out and try again. Probably because you're used to Lib's stream. Just as a guess. And also, I guess it's not something that you would usually hear me say here, so it's kind of out of place. which means you hear it and go, wait, what? What? What's going on? But yeah, I think that's pretty good. It still isn't like exactly the same shape, but I think that's okay. I think I maybe want to bring this out even a little bit more. Like this. And that looks even more accurate to the reference. Okay, good. One of my, like, I don't know, worst habits, if you want to call it that, as an artist, which I don't think is actually a bad habit, just to be clear, because I do, like, I stylize things pretty heavily, in any case, but I definitely have a habit of, like, drawing a shape directly from the reference and then ignoring the reference image while I shade, which means that I change the way shapes look sometimes, which I think is actually a bonus, but it does also mean that sometimes I start working on something and I shade it quote unquote incorrectly and it makes a shape that I don't like, which is what happened with the inner petals here. Which, like, isn't a big deal. We fixed it. It's fine. Watercolor is a pretty forgiving medium there. But it is something that if I was a proper art student, I would be getting yelled at for. You have to be looking at your reference images as much, if not more, than your paper. You know. Those are the rules. Oh my gosh, that's so funny, Shawnee. I was thinking about what other emotes I should add. Because I do have a couple more animated slots. I did start, like, a science experiment animated emote that I, like, just never finished because I can't get it looking a way that I like. But I think that I could use an emote that I don't have that I would use is a Nodders for sure. And I know that, like, there are a few people, like, I think it's Shark-Sided and Blanc have Nodders from the same artist, and I'm not sure what artist it is, but they both look really good. So I should look and see if they have commissions open. Because honestly, a lot of the way that I choose emotes is what I would use in other people's streams. But if you guys have other opinions on that, like if there are emotes that you think I should do, you should let me know. I think I need to deepen up the shadow in the back of this petal right here because it feels a little flat here. Just that bit right there. Define it a little bit more. Because I do think I do not have a hug one. That's another one that I, like, started animating and never was happy with how it turned out. But I do want to do, like, a squish one, which is a hug, but then you squish the person, because I think that that's the right vibe for us, I think. Also, whenever Rainbow opens her emote commissions again, I'm getting an Angie, because I need it. I need an Angie one. I sent her a rough sheet forever ago of the Celeste Celeste. Maybe I should name that Celeste because she isn't really Celeste. She's off model. But I'm wondering if maybe I want a possum one actually. Now that we've kind of, I say we, now that Cap has really established my little persona. So maybe I'll make another reference sheet for that and send it to her because she's not ready to start yet. She's still, getting settled into her new place and everything, but you know me, I like to be prepared way in advance. But I think maybe moving stuff over to the possum is maybe the right call. Because I feel like that's just more, I don't know, legally distinct, if you will. Because I really just picked the Celeste one because of the little avatar image that I have that one of my friends made for me. Because I asked them to make me some avatar images, and I didn't give them any direction whatsoever. I just, because I was just giving them money to help out, but they would have felt bad if they weren't giving me something in return. So I was just like, do whatever makes me think of, like, whatever makes you think of me. And so they did the Celeste one, and then they did a little Animal Crossing one. And so that was like an approachable thing that was vaguely recognizable to the avatar that I have like across every single platform and have for like a decade at this point. But I'm thinking maybe it's time to change that, so that it's more. I hate saying it this way, but so that it's more aligned with my brand. So maybe I'm just gonna work on changing stuff over to Possum. But the issue with that, and part of the reason why I haven't been happy with some of the emotes I've been trying to make lately, is that I cannot make a possum face look good. I don't understand the shape. And I've already figured out how to make a Celeste face look good, but I haven't been able to figure out possum face. Especially because like possum faces are generally pretty angular, but I tend to draw anything that's representing me as like rounder and softer because I'm fat. In case you didn't know, I'm fat. But yeah, so I don't know. Just another one of those things my brain has been chewing on, you know. Okay. Are we dry? Yes. Now I think I can futz with this little petal back here. I definitely did not continue the color like I should have there. I used to always think that I would only want to make my own emotes, but I realize that's kind of silly now. I definitely have a different view on it than I used to. So I will be finding people and commissioning them probably for stuff, especially for animated emotes, just because like I don't really know what I'm doing, if I'm being honest. I'm making it up as I go, and sometimes I do alright, and sometimes, well, you guys know the ones that I like because I've made them emotes, and sometimes they just end up disappearing into the depths of the whip folder. That shape is pretty good. Now, I think I'm happy with that for the most part. I'm happy with that guy for the most part. So I think working on these guys next. Because I did change one of the shapes again here. Because it made a tangent line that I didn't like. And I mean, it still kind of has a tangent line, but I did push this bokeh light a little bit too close to this, so I think before I do anything else, I'm gonna work on pulling some of this pigment up right through here. Because I ended up making it a straight line, even though it's not actually a straight line. But yeah, I think hug and nodders maybe. I have two. Sorry, I'm just gonna bounce back and forth between every single topic. Because I do have 2 animated slots that are open right now, so I wouldn't need to move anything. But I also think that I'll probably get rid of the wool, because I don't like it as much as the other ones. I'm not fully happy with it. Hi, Tens! Good to see you. How's Tricks? The only only issue with deciding I'm changing the shape is that our masking fluid is not technically in the correct spot anymore. So we're going to have to mess with that a bit. But I think we can manage it. There's going to be a little bit of green under the masking fluid, I think, there. But that's fine. Oh, you're so close. So close to being free. I hope it's not too bad today. And if they try to make you stay late, tell them I said to fuck off. I think that shape just reads a lot better than that straight line did. Yes, I do, Shawnee. If you just want to pop it in chat, that would be great. Or DM it to me, whatever you prefer. Thank you for checking for me. Because I'm pretty sure it was Sharks and Blanc. That's fair, Tens. Although that does make the time go by so much slower. So those are the ones I remember seeing with like the same style that I thought was good. I do also like the one that Rainbow uses a lot with like the crossed arms. I don't know whose that is though, like I don't remember the streamer's name. Although I could find out probably because it'll be in like Rainbow and I's DMs and Rainbow's Discord, so. But generally speaking, if I see the same style emote in multiple people's streams, especially in like the same circle, I know that somebody takes commissions. Or at least is willing to make that for multiple people. So I can be like, hey, buddy, love this. Can I have one? Okay, that's that. Actually, maybe I do have those in the right spot. And I just had this line wrong the whole time. Okay, that's actually not bad. We don't need to change that much. I say that much. I'm not going to change it at all. But we do need to pink this puppy up. Just in general. I don't know why my pinky decided to stick out for that. Unnecessary. And because I pulled the pigment up there, the paper texture is going to be a little bit funky, which is fine. You don't need to worry about it, but it will make it look a little different. Oh yeah, Tens, who's your artist? Feel free to like drop a link in chat or DM it to me. I'm more likely to see it again if you DM it to me. Or put it in my Discord too is fine. But I'll poke around and see, because like I said, I do want to hug, and I have an idea for that one. I just have not. I have not been able to execute it, so I haven't looked very hard for somebody else, because like. I have other things to do, you know? Okay, I'm putting that username into my little stream reference section. Also, Tens, I don't think that I knew that you streamed. I don't think you've ever said anything, so I don't even think I'm following you. Those are super cute, though. I love those. I also kind of want to do a grabby hands one, I think. That one I think I can manage on my own, because possum hands are fine. But I do this thing called grabby hands, which I think I'm not the only person that does it. But you know how when you reach out really far, when you want something, you go like this? Grabby hands, you know? It's the gimme hands. Oh, okay, okay. So you used to, but you haven't recently. That makes more sense and makes me feel a little bit less silly. I will follow. I don't have to war. Or maybe I will follow. Do I already follow? Because it just took the button away from me. I do follow. Okay. I must have followed and then immediately forgot. I don't have brain for gore disease. A lot of times they just don't care. Hi, Rainbow. I was talking about you just a second ago. Also, when I was opening my Discord to put a note for myself in, I saw your little sticky design. That's so fucking cute. If you're in Rainbow's Discord, go look because she made a little cute thing and it was adorable. Which, like, huge shock, right? Rainbow making something adorable. I thought it might be. I was telling Stars on her stream yesterday. Well, I guess Stars kind of brought it up because I gave her a compliment and she just said thank you and then kind of argued with the logic behind the compliment and not the compliment itself. Um, and she was like, I'm not like discounting the compliment. I was like, no, you're fine. I got you. And she was like, look at how much better I am at taking compliments. And I was like, I know, I told you I would help you get better at taking compliments through exposure therapy. And that's basically what I do for like all of my friends. Yeah, that's great, Rainbow. I love it. Fair tens. Yeah, I do know that like the contract that you sign, I mean it is a contract, but also they don't really enforce it much at all. Um Says that if you don't stream for over a year, they might pull your status, but I've never seen anybody lose that unless they really fucked up against TOS. I feel like I still need to do something with this. He's still looking so flat. Welcome back, Sleepy. Although maybe I shouldn't call this a him. Maybe it should be a she because I did steal its ball sack. If you know, you know. I do think that I need to up the shading like down here. Make it look more rounded. Timken. Oh man, this is. It just made me think of it. You guys know how my brain works. You know to expect non sequiturs. But the new mod that Cap added into the Minecraft server, we were messing around with the quails yesterday? Day before yesterday. No, yesterday. And discovered that sometimes when you throw an egg, it will make like a bunch of quails instead of just hatching one. So we went to hatch one egg and hatched 14 babies. So if anybody needs quails, it seems to be a self-replicating supply. Also, there's specific, like, if you throw it against, like, the ground or, like, a regular block, it will just pass through and hatch. And if you throw it at the ground, the quail gets caught underground, and then all of the quails that hatch die, and so you get a lot of feathers. So we hatched, one of the eggs I threw hatched 14 babies, and one of the eggs I threw went into the ground, and I got 43 feathers out of it. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Rainbow. I think that we should all, like, plan a day to hang out, honestly. Like, even if we don't do anything specific, we can all just hang out in voice together. I do tend to get overwhelmed if there's too many voices, so I might be quiet, but I also might not be because, like, part of the reason that I invited the people that I invited to be part of the server was um, because I'm comfortable with you guys. So. Yeah, I think Cap, we were on call last night while Cap was talking in Tomato Stream. I had a lurk up, but I wasn't chatting. Um, and I did hear that Cap said in all caps, of course, that you were invited to the next time Tomato Sleepy and us hung out. I just love that, like, basically everyone in that server has the same flavor of, like, friend anxiety, where we're all invite vampires. Like, if you don't specifically invite us, we aren't sure if we're invited for reals, you know? Yeah, I haven't really wandered around your base either, Rainbow. You should give me a tour. Okay, let me delineate where certain things are here. Because we have, like, there's 2 buds here. So there's one going, like, down this way. And then this one is up here. So I need to, like, start shading that just so that I know where the heck I'm going. Yeah, see, I'm like the opposite, where I'm way more likely to play something if I'm completely by myself. And I've always been like that. Like, I do not play co-op games, period. So, like, doing it with Minecraft is, like, going against my nature. It's fun, like, to be clear. It's not like I'm forcing myself to do something. Oh, yeah, all good, Tens. I think at this point, Cap is, like, happy with the amount of people that we have in. But he really wanted, like, people who were going to be active in the server, so I invited a few people. Kind of like how he was like, oh, I want to play D&D again, so I put together a D&D group. He's like, wow, I wish we would do X, Y, Z, and I'm like, bet. You got it, buddy. And then he's like, oh, why'd you do that? And I was like, because you wanted it. Like, the only reason I didn't invite more people to D&D was because Grim gave me a people limit, which is totally valid, and that's not me bitching about it. Just like, that's why I didn't invite as many people as I would want to play with, you know? Yay! Bless Rainbow. Praying for you that actually happens and doesn't get canceled last minute. Did your DM ever actually respond to you asking about playing on Easter? Like, I mean, afterwards. Oh, okay. Could use more information than that, but sure. I don't know. That drives me nuts. I'm just, if you couldn't tell, I'm very schedule driven. You can tell by my color coded schedule and the fact that I schedule everything for people. Yeah. I need to know what's happening. So that thing where people just don't say what the plan is makes me explode. Yeah, I'm glad you did too, Rainbow. That always frustrates the heck out of me. When, like, you were planning on something, so you changed how your day went, and then it doesn't happen and nobody told you. Makes me angry. Okay, since I'm just making this one up, honestly, this is going to be funky. Because this blossom in the reference image is open, kind of like a half-open pistachio shell. And it made, like, a really gross tangent line right here, so I changed the shape. And that means that I'm going to be freeballing it. Ooh, that sounds fun. I bet the LA Ren Fair is, like, crazy. do think I probably... Oh, that's making a little squeaky sound. That's funny. Do you think that I probably want to add a little bit of yellow for the highlights in here before I get too much farther? I'm sure. The one here is like tiny. Although I think they've changed where they're having it because it's gotten bigger. I'm not 100% sure though. Because I haven't been because I don't want to get COVID. I still have not gotten COVID and I would like to keep it that way. Thank you. Yeah, it'll be a big one for sure. I do like that events in Alaska, you can get like halibut fish and chips at any event you go to. Like that's just standard food fare. Or standard fair food fare, I guess. I could say it that way. Like you get fresh fish and chips, which is great. There's also a lemonade place. I don't know if they're still in business actually, but they must be. They were so good. Um, that's at like the Saturday market and stuff. Hello, Crow. Whichever one you is. But they make really good like fresh squeezed lemonade. It's so good. We'll see if maybe I can go. I would like to start vending at the Saturday market. That's not going to be a thing this year because I'm having surgery. So, but I did find one of the friends that I made through the art department through the nude modeling that I do said that she's also interested in vending. So we're gonna like split a table and split fees and stuff. And she drives, which will help because I don't drive. So that means that we would be able to watch each other's stuff and we get along really well. So it was one of those like ADHD brain cell ping moments where it's just like, ah, you are also this flavor of strange. Yeah, I think that might be the right call, Tense, but you are like such an extrovert that I don't know, maybe it would have been great for you. I am not this way. Okay. There's We've talked a little bit on stream before about how I have weirdly specific voice line stem sounds that play in my head like a little soundboard, and one just went off. So there's this episode of Kitchen Nightmares, which was one of my comfort shows, so I watch it when I'm upset a lot. I can explain that if somebody wants, but like I don't think you need to really know if you don't want to know. But there's one episode where there's like two brothers who are running this restaurant. If anybody wants to know, it's the Spanish Pavilion episode. And there's one point where the one brother who's expediting yells at the brother who's cooking and goes, "Just do what you're doing." And the brother goes, "I am doing what I'm doing, and I'm telling you about them snow crabs." And whenever I can't focus on a task, that's what plays in my head. And it like bumps me back into focusing on what I'm doing. So if I'm looking, like for instance, just now the reason it played in my head was because I was looking at all the different parts of the painting that I could work on right now, but I know that I'm working on this specific blossom right now, right? So my brain is like, just do what you're doing. Don't think about the other bits yet. It's like, okay, I am doing what I'm doing, and I'm telling you about them snow crabs. Stretchy, got it. Actually, first I'm gonna smooth out this line because if it dries, it's gonna be icky and I won't like it. And then I will do proper stretching. Here we go. We'll do stretch. Yeah. I went a little harder on my Just Dance exercise on Wednesday, and my legs are still sore. Which is good. That means that I'm working the muscles that I need to work, but also, if you follow me on Tumblr, you've already seen this. I have a perfectly circular bruise like right underneath my kneecap, and I'm really not sure what I did to get that. Like, I don't know where it came from. Because it's not just like a filled in circle bruise, it's like an outline. I legitimately do not know what I did. Okay, and then a hydrate. Which actually reminds me, we have a new voice line. Well, we have multiple new voice lines for the Go Piss Girl redeem. So we have one from Al, and then we have two from Tomato. Yeah, you did more work on your legs than I did, Rainbow, for sure. From legs, I think, is also technically accurate. Having legs does mean that your legs can be sore, just generally speaking. But yeah, so Tomato has a regular Go Piss Girl, and then there's one for the rare Ryan Gosling Go Piss Girl, I mean they. And then there's one from Al that's a rare chance on the regular Go Piss one. Yes, yes, they are tens. I know Matta was talking about that on stream the other day. I was kind of like half lurking for that, I think. Oh, I hate that wiggle. It is the correct season. We haven't quite got that yet because it's still too cold here, so our mosquitoes haven't happened. Like, our low for today is exactly at freezing. I got too cold and woke myself up at night because I was so cold. But such is summer in the north. Yay! We do, I think, have more snow as a forecast for this week. I'm gonna throw a hissy fit. Part of the reason, so I did my little outfit today because one, I got new lipstick, so I wanted to test out the lipstick and match my outfit. But also I'm wearing a skirt because I'm like, actually, it's spring now because I declare it's spring. I don't care if I'm too cold. I'm done. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. Which is just like, I don't know. I think that's standard, like, long winter kind of situation. Where at some point you just kind of all lose your mind collectively and decide that actually winter's done now and I'm gonna wear shorts. It doesn't matter that it's freezing outside. I'm wearing shorts today. Hey, that's I. That's I. I'll let it dry and see what else I think it needs. I do think that I could probably, well, no, I don't think I'm actually gonna do that. I was gonna say I could work on the little stem here a little bit more, but I don't think I want to. I think it can stay a little wibbly. I need to let that dry before I can do this guy back here. But I can do this guy for a second. He doesn't need like a lot. He just needs a little bit because he's like a bud, kind of like this one that's kind of long. Yep, such is the way. We do love frog chirpies, but at what cost? I mean, part of the reason the frogs would hang out there was because they eat mosquitoes, right? So. Yeah, you probably will be able to, Rainbow. At least with like LA, there isn't like a lot of standing water, right? Because it's hot enough that you don't really keep any random water hanging around for very long. I've been to LA in the summer once, and it was so hot I almost died. True story. Hey, Cadoodles, good to see you. How's it going? That's fine. I think that's fine. Okay, now I let those dry, and then we can do the other blossom here. Maybe I'm gonna block in some of the purple color down here. And then I think I'm gonna take a quick break, which means I will end up running some ads. Because I could stand a trip to the bathroom, and I think I'm gonna pour the rest of my coffee out because I mentioned this at the start of stream, but I tried a different syrup mix in my coffee than usual today, and it did not hit. So I think the rest of it is going down the drain, which is fine. Like, I don't need to drink the whole thing. It's probably better for me if I don't drink the whole thing. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like it's been a struggle this week, honestly. As me too. Yeah. And like, I know mine is a lot of hormonal stuff, but even people who would not have the same hormonal stuff that I have been saying they've been having a shit week. So I think it's just one of those. That is another one. 3 of them all next to each other. Yeah. Just, yeah. It's all so stupid. But at least we get to make jokes about J.D. Vance being so horrid that he killed a major religious figure just by talking to him. Oh, you mean like other streamers, Cadoodles? Because Stars, one of my mods, is a great cozy channel. She does, for me, it's Monday and Thursday mornings. She's German, so it's later for her. But Stars, I really like. Let's see, I is also a good choice. I also, Sky is a little bit more high energy, so not quite as cozy. But those are all people I recommend for sure. Maddo is also really good if you haven't followed Maddo. And Rainbow, obviously, you already know. She doesn't always do gaming, but she does gaming on Fridays usually. Who else do I know who would be good for that? Perrin also. Who you might follow. She's kind of in the same circles. Let me make sure that I'm spelling her name correctly. Before I do a big shout out. Yep. She's actually live right now. We raid into her pretty often, so she'll get confused by me. Oh no. It does too, you filthy liar. Good lord. I cannot type today, just in case anybody was wondering. When I like do the thing. There we go. Perrin is also a good cozy channel to hang out with. Let's see, who else would I recommend? I do have like most streamers, I have like a recommended, which isn't all games. Oh, Tomato is also nice to hang out with. For just like nice chill vibes. I would also say Sleepy as well. Can I actually do my own commands, maybe? And I know that those messages are a little sus. I promise that they are nice people. But I also have to be weirdly horny about my friends, otherwise they take away my gay card. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Who else? Who else? Oh, Elena is also a good choice. Who you might know? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm very much in that same kind of camp where I like just hanging out with people who are relatively chill. Because if people are like too high energy, I get stressed out. I think those are the big ones that I hang out with pretty regularly. Fierce Axolotl is also nice. I think that they are still on a hiatus. But I'm gonna do that. Me trying to spell axolotl correctly on the first try. Can I do it? I've been following them for a while and they're nice. They also have really cute kitties. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Yes. Okay. I can spell. I did it. But yeah. Yeah, that's totally fair, Cadoodles. I like live on Twitch, honestly. Like, for the most part, I will have a Twitch stream on in the background at all times. Because it's such a nice way to like cheat body doubling. Because it feels like somebody is keeping track of you, even if you don't say anything. You know? So. Yeah, and if anybody else has like streamers they like, please feel free to throw them into chat. That isn't a like self-promo issue. We're talking about it, so bring people up. If you have other people to recommend who I have not recommended, please let us all know. I know that people are cautious about that to be polite, and I appreciate that, but we're inviting it right now. Of course, Sleepy. Yeah, if I could actually like do games with my current setup, I would, but my poor laptop is already struggling enough as it is. Yep, they're sleepy. I do hope that Fierce comes back from hiatus. I don't know if they're still on hiatus, but that's somebody who I found out that Cap is actually a regular in that stream, and I've been following them for ages. Which is so funny to see all of the places that we could have met, but really we met in Lib and Rainbow's stream. So it was so funny because I raided Fierce one day, like, before they were going on hiatus, and I was like, yeah, I'm Cap's girlfriend. And the reaction was so cute because they, like, you could see the, like, math overlay kind of gif going off over their head, like the way that they were thinking about it. And they were like, oh, I've just put so many pieces together. And it was freaking adorable. But yeah, I've been following them for ages. They're really sweet. I want to put a little bit more of a highlight right here. That will smooth out. I need to just let it do that. It'll lighten up a little bit as it... Yeah, there are a lot of great usernames on Twitch, honestly. Everybody's so creative. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. You guys feel free to continue to discuss various streamers that you really like. I'm going to run some ads. Yeah, that's a mood, Sleepy.
Go piss. I mean, they. Yeah, go piss.
Perfect. That's tomato. I did. I got both the tomatoes in there, and then I have one from Al that's in there. So I've got all three of those, and I need to nag Cap about the other sounds that I want to replace. It's so perfect. Tomato messaged me those and was like, "Let me know if you need to change anything." And I was like, "No, those are absolutely perfect. I love you. Thank you so much." Oh yeah, I might, Sleepy, actually. If you want to do one for you're doing amazing, sweetie. I think if I get a bunch of people so that I can have, like, it'll randomize who says it, I think that would be fun. But yeah, so I'm gonna run ads. Don't look at the ads. We hate capitalism here. I still get the money if you, like, don't look at the ads. So I think that if you decide to not look at the ads while I run the ads, technically we're stealing money from Bezos, and that is morally correct to do. So I'm gonna run ads. Take a break with me, get up, do a little stretch, get a snack, get a drink, get a treat, go to the bathroom, look at something that's farther away from your screen because it's good for your eyeballs, and then we can meet back here in 3. All right?
This is a self-care checkpoint. Do you need to take meds? Get some water, some food? Take a break or a stretch? Please do so now. Thank you.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
All right, I have returned. You should be back from the ads as well. I don't know if you're back from your break, but welcome back to anybody who's back. I'm just staring at this painting like, what do I want to do now? What do I do now? I think these have dried, so we can work on that guy. I want to work on these ones before I work on this one. Just because if I work on this one and then work on this one, I'm going to put my hand in wet paint. I know myself. I know that's going to happen. Oh, that'd be super fun, Tens. I would love that. I do want to do, like, so I do, like, more standard New Year's resolutions kind of thing around my birthday. So I often, like, start new art projects and stuff around my birthday. And I think the one for this year, I was thinking about it, is doing more collabs with people, and especially people that I, like, hang out with a lot, but haven't been on their stream. So, like, with Rainbow, for instance. Rainbow is one that was instantly in my head. I haven't done one with Tomato, even though I hang out with Tomato a lot. And that'd be great, Tens. I would love to do that with you. That'd be so fun. Me just staring at this painting and, like, my brain cache emptying. Okay. We work on this. Yeah, the problem with that wiggle is, so as you can tell by my wrist being taped, with those, a lot of times they actually aggravate the issue that I have in my wrist, which I haven't gotten it checked out because of the American healthcare system as a whole, but I'm fairly certain what happened is I either broke or fractured my radial head when I was a teenager, and so it didn't grow correctly. So now if I put too much pressure, like here, like if I rest my hand on it too much, it really aggravates the muscles around here. I'm guessing because they are working really hard to keep bones in a place where they shouldn't go. So yeah, like, yes, that is the correct option for that, but I can't do that for accessibility reasons. Yeah, I was stupid and I hit a door a certain way and I hurted myself. And nobody believed me about how bad it was hurt, so I didn't get it checked out at the time, and that's just been a problem ever since. Which has gotten worse as I've gotten older because that's how life works. Yeah. There's some Katie lore for you guys. I got mad at a boy and I hit a door. Which, like, the boy deserved me being mad at him, but my wrist did not deserve to get caught in the crossfire. Yeah, that's the same issue that I have with my hips wiggle, is that, like, when I was having issues with that, everybody just called it growing pains. So I didn't think it was anything. Turns out that I have hypermobility and I was actually dislocating my hip on a regular basis, which is why my left one still doesn't like to stay in place. Because I popped it out so often, that it doesn't really sit in the joint correctly. which is super fun. Love it. But yeah, I've been told I'm dramatic a lot in my life, and sometimes I am dramatic. But about that specific thing, I was not being dramatic. I was being honest. Which is why you should listen to people when they tell you what they're going through. Just throwing that out there. Yeah. Generally speaking, I am dramatic for a reason. Although there are sometimes when I'm aware that I'm being dramatic in a way that's ridiculous, and I will just say that. Hi, Parker! I'm sure this one is still not great on your eyeballs. But it's good to see you. Yeah, sometimes I know I'm just like throwing a hissy fit, and I will say, I know it isn't this serious, but I need to be dramatic about it first. Which is just honestly like a good way to go about life. Sometimes you just gotta make a big hissy fit about something, and then you feel better, and then you can go about to an actual solution, you know? Yeah, I thought so, Parker. It's still in that realm. Actually, the color and focus poll for next month is up. I have not even looked at it, so I have no clue who is winning right now. But I don't think that there is a color that will mess with your eyes next time. But of course, I'm not streaming as much next month because I'm having surgery. So, you know, that doesn't do much good for you. Yeah, exactly, Wiggle. It's like a legitimate stress release. What's the word? Strategy, I guess, is the word I'm looking for there. Like, sometimes there are really good reasons to be dramatic about stuff, you know? And sometimes it's something silly. Oh, that reminds me that I never went back and highlighted that thing that Sleepy thought was really funny last stream. Speaking of being dramatic, because I was talking about on Tuesday that I like hit super bad overstim on Sunday, and then the pocket of my shorts caught on the door plate, and I just got so mad that I ripped my pants off. I threw them on the bed and started stomping around the house like Winnie the Pooh, cursing it. I can do it, Shawnee. I just need to remember to go back and highlight it, just because it's a longer portion that I don't think you can catch it all in a clip. I did put a marker on the VOD, though, for when I stopped telling the story, so I know where to find it. I just forgot to do it. Which is fine. Not a big deal. I just need to catch it before the VOD disappears, but it won't disappear for 3 months, so it's fine. And I still have the actual, like, video, so I would still be able to, like, highlight it and keep it myself. But if I want it to stay on Twitch, I need to do that before the VOD disappears, which, again, I have plenty of time for that, so. Yeah, for sure. Like, if you're having a bad time and a piece of your clothing betrays you like that, it's, like, instant highway to, like, raging mad. And like one of the super fun things about both having ADHD and having a menstrual cycle is that the hormone changes specifically in your luteal phase, which would be when you get PMDD and PMS also, aggravates your ADHD. So anything like that you already have an issue with will be worse. So for instance, being overstimulated will get worse if you're in that phase. So, like, sometimes your clothes just decide to betray you, and everything feels wrong. Which, I don't know if you guys remember, last month, I was sitting here and I was like, I'm taking my shirt off to cut the tag out right now because it's driving me insane. That was why. Yes, really. because it changes how your brain functions, right? So it just kind of flips a switch on what you can tolerate and what you can't. Right? Luteal phase is a little bastard. Nobody likes it. Go away. Oh, yeah, Parker, that's the worst. I do that with my headphones too, where I forget I'm wearing headphones in somebody's stream and try to take a sweatshirt off and it pulls my headphones off my head. It makes me so mad every single time. But yeah, if you have noticed that you have like, and there's a higher likelihood, like a what's the word, comorbidity of having PMDD if you are also neurodivergent, and part of that is because like your brain, like the hormones fuck with your brain more. Yeah. Yep. 100% Rainbow. Like same. And I will say that I was talking about what antidepressants I was on earlier, but one of them is also a prescribed off-label as an ADHD medication, like a non-stimulant one. I found that helps the like ADHD portion of my PMDD a lot more, which is good because like I don't need to be fighting my own brain like across 3 different portions of it at once. It's so awful. Yep, for sure, Parker. Fun times with anxiety. Let's go. And yeah, brains are annoying. Like, yes, my me is in there, but also, could you stop being like this a little bit? Like, we have enough going on. You don't need to add more into it. I will say, like, if you guys want a mild amount of TMI, it's not that bad. This is my last bleeding period that's gonna start soon. And then I get my uterus out. So after that, I won't actually know, like, for sure, when my cycle is, which means I'm probably going to get a little blindsided by the PMDD. Because I am keeping my ovaries. Which means I'm still going to have a hormonal menstrual cycle, but I'm not going to have a bleeding cycle. So that's going to take some getting used to for sure. Like, I'm very excited about this because I won't be in massive amounts of pain for at least a week out of the month. Because often my cramps are bad enough that I get like pre-cramps. So I'll be in pain like starting a week early. Which is stupid. Like, bad design, guys. Can we take that one back to the drawing board, please? But that will be really nice. But I think, I'm just gonna say but 35 times in a row and never actually finish a sentence. Yeah, exactly. I get cramps from my cramps. We heard you liked cramps, so we put cramps in your cramps. Who else remembers that meme? That one's ancient. What was I saying? I don't know. It's gone. I guess just my point was that since I won't have like the blood warning symbol, like I won't know exactly when the cycle starts and ends. So it'll be a little mix and matchy that I'll need to get used to, you know. That'll be some guesswork for a bit. I think what I need to do, and we haven't fully rendered that, and that's why that doesn't look right to me. So I'm probably going to need to shade this with a little bit of a darker color to bring it further back. Yeah, for sure. It'll be one of those things where I'm like, why do I feel insane? And why do I feel like I want to cry? And why do I feel like I want to slap somebody in the face? And Cap will be like, probably because it's your PMDD. And I'll be like, ah, shit. Because, like, honestly, the easiest indicator of, because like as a person with a menstrual cycle, like you forget that once a month you turn into a crazy person. And like you never think about that because you're like on a slow slide into it, right? Because your body is slowly changing. So it's not like a switch for the most part that just flips on and you're like, oh right, this is a thing that's changing in my body. A lot of times it's just like you act out against something and then somebody goes, wait, why are you acting like that? And you go, ah shit, it got me again. But honestly, I've noticed that like the best way for me to tell that that is the actual issue I'm having and that I'm not upset about something else is if I get mad at Cap. Because he never deserves it. Like, he's literally the nicest person on the planet. So if I start getting mad at Cap, I'm like, I know what the issue is. It's so funny. Because once I noticed that pattern, I was like, oh, if I'm annoyed with him, this is why. Because that's like the only time it happens. It's so funny. Enjoy your nap, Parker. I hope your brain is nicer to you when you wake up. It's good to see you. Thank you for popping in. But I know Rainbow has mentioned, like, on stream before that sometimes her boyfriend James will also do that. Where I'll be like, check your calendar. And you're like, oh, yeah. Rainbow smile emote. Ah, right. It's pretty funny. But like since I keep very close track of like my moods and stuff because it helps me notice patterns in a way that I don't otherwise. So because I keep a closer track on that than most people, I've really noticed that difference. And I still get blindsided by it like every month. I end up like flipping out about something and I'm like, why did I do that? This isn't that big a deal. And my body's like, tee-hee, got you again. It's so stupid. Yeah. Oh, I love the phrase goop days. That's perfect. Yeah, that's great. I love that. It makes me think, honestly, like, the way some guys, like James, for instance, deals with it, it really reminds me of, if you've watched Community, when Abed realized and accidentally tracked all of the girls' menstrual cycles because he realized they were getting angrier at him during a certain week. And once he realized what he was tracking, it was too late. So he just started carrying chocolate for all of their luteal phases. And it's just like, sometimes guys just like, they don't really know what's going on necessarily, but they do notice the difference and will like compensate for it in a way that's really sweet. I always thought that episode was really funny. It still doesn't feel quite defined enough to me between the two. I think that's partially because I keep overworking this one spot, so the pigment is pushing it away. That's a little better. But yeah, it will be an interesting journey for me, I guess was the point of that whole spiel. Was going to have to relearn my body patterns in a way that I haven't dealt with before. which is definitely like I'm down for the challenge, especially since it's going to make my life so much freaking better in a lot of ways. But it is gonna be an interesting adjustment for me. I will say here is another just like semi-random thing. Um, since I'm not allowed to lift more than 6 pounds for like 2 months, it means that I can't use my weighted blanket. So I bought a little kid weighted blanket that's 5 pounds just so that I can like have something because it helps with my nightmares a lot. And the little kid one is a super cute pattern on it. So it's like lilac and it has little alpacas on it. Why can't I get an adult one that has a cute pattern on it? Like, why am I stuck with a duvet cover that's like old grass green? Why can't I have alpacas? Rude. I might end up like making my own at some point because like it's not like a super complicated pattern. I have a sewing machine. I could do it. It's just a large duvet. But like, why are we expected to give up all of those little joys as we age? It's ridiculous. I don't want to be serious and have like just have everything in my house be dark gray. Perhaps I want little alpacas on my things. Did you think about that? I could have gotten little airplanes. I could have gotten like dinosaurs. Exactly. Where's the whimsy? I'll give you a lot of money for whimsy. We deserve it. Especially with the current horrors. Yes, 100% Sleepy. You deserve that. We deserve whimsy and things that taste good and not just things that are serious, you know? Like, just let us have fun. Why is that illegal all of a sudden? Ridiculous. Okay. I think that's pretty well rendered, honestly. Strawberry toothpaste sounds like it would be fun. I have what is on there? I have prescription toothpaste because my mouth is a disaster area. But which is like a lot lighter mint flavor, which I like, and I do like mint, and I do like cinnamon, which are two of the like quote unquote adult fruit toothpaste flavors. I mean, but like there should be other options for people who don't like mint. It's not difficult. Just I don't get it. Yeah, see, I used to use what's that brand? Tom's of Maine, I think. But they don't have fluoride in them. But they have like a lot of other flavors. But like, why can we not have fluoride in fun flavors? Like, why do you hate us? Why do you hate our teeth? And like, honestly, it's an accessibility issue, like at the base, which is probably why people are buttholes about it. Which is ridiculous. Like, I don't know why, like, this is the same with, like, people who always said that you were going to grow out of your hobbies when you were a kid. Like, why are you expected to just decide to be miserable when you're an adult? Like, I don't want to live like that. We have had this conversation before, 100%. Yeah, exactly. See, I really like, for what Parker said about the flavors being spicy, I like flavors that also have a sensation to them. So I really like, for instance, licorice that, like, if it's real licorice, will numb your tongue and your throat a little bit. I like mint. I like cinnamon. I like spicy things. I really like sour candy. I just like a sensation with my flavor. Yeah, they're all like so similar in their mint flavor, which is just like, I call it getting mouth fucked by a candy cane. That's what I call that flavor. Because that's what it's like. It's just like so intense, and there's no reason it needs to be that intense. Like, it doesn't clean better. Just somebody decided that mint was what we had to put in our mouths. Like, I don't get it. I bet there's some horrible story based on capitalism around why we use mint, actually. It's probably similar to like the blue raspberry flavoring, where like, or why we have in the US, why we have flags in all of our classrooms, where somebody was trying to sell something, and through some sort of like friendly nepotism situation, we ended up just
Capitalism
using that.
sucks.
Capitalism does suck. I'm still so pleased that I got that soundbite off of Meadow. I love it. But yeah, we could just not, you know? Like, there's no reason it has to be that way. Like, so much, if you look back at like through history about why we do things a certain way, especially in the US, it very often is just like these two guys who knew each other wanted to take over an industry, and so they worked together quietly to do that. And it's like, and nobody else ever just like decided to not, because like that's legitimately why we have flags in every classroom in the US, is because a guy was a flag salesman and was friends with a guy in the government, and so they mandated that you needed to put an American flag in all the classrooms so that this guy could sell American flags to everybody. I was just like, it's ridiculous. This country is ridiculous. Oh, that's way wider than I thought it was going to be. Chill out, buddy. Freaking ridiculous. Ridiculous country. I was talking in Rainbow Stream yesterday, too, about how Monopoly was originally an anti-capitalist game. It was supposed to show you, like, it was a teaching tool to show you how unfair capitalism is at its base level. Because it's just all luck. And then Parker Brothers bought it and turned it into what it is now. Yeah, the flag thing is, especially with the like Pledge of Allegiance every day, it's like really weird. People in other countries think that's fake because it's so weird. Because it really is like the definition of indoctrination. Like, no other country does this kind of shit. Like, the flag itself is just like whatever, it's a piece of cloth. The way that it's treated is the issue. Which I don't think I need to go on that rant today.
I'm escaping. One place that
Hi,
hasn't been
Arya.
corrupted
You
by
came in at
capitalism.
exactly the right time, I think. Yep. That's what we were talking about.
Space.
I was talking about how ridiculous the US is. Which I'm sure you would be happy to jump on board with that. It's like I summoned you. Yeah, I think I did, Arya. I was just talking about how the reason that we have, and why many things are the way they are in the US, is because some guy was a friend with another guy and they colluded to make people buy shit. So I was specifically saying about that's why we have American flags in every classroom in the US, was because a guy in the government decided to mandate that we needed that because his friend was selling flags. So, yeah. It's capitalism and nationalism, and they had a really weird, fucked up baby, and it's called the United States. Also, Puritanism is in there too. Yeah, for sure, Tens. And honestly, we have like a lot of decades where it's like if we could just redo one of these, I think our lives would be better. There's like the 50s for sure, the 80s is another one. And honestly, I would argue that the early 2000s to now is kind of like another portion of that that's going to like vastly change the way that the US is going forward, which I don't think is a controversial take in this day and age, honestly. Mm-hmm. But like, if we could get rid of Reagan, just Reagan, even if we didn't do anything else, that would change so much. It would be great. Okay, I think this shape is a little bit weird, so I'm gonna mess with this a bit before I move on to this flower down here. Yeah, McCarthy is an issue too, for sure. Okay, I think that's a little bit better already. I don't know 100% that we would have been communists. I think we would have moved closer to socialism. But I think the Red Scare and the Violet Scare happening in conjunction, and we only pay attention to one of them, definitely changes. Yeah, for sure, Tens. I get where you're coming from. Definitely changes the tint of history, if you will. Or I don't mean the Violet Scare. I mean the Lavender Scare. I said the wrong purple. But both of those, I think, drastically changed how government worked in the U.S. And definitely put us on the line to the totalitarianism that we're headed towards rapidly at this point. Although it's been around for a while, and people are only realizing it now because it's like really, really obvious versus just mostly obvious, and you can ignore it. Yeah. I think at this point that's preaching to the choir a little bit here. As definitely we started, and this is like within recent memory, there are other farther historical issues, but definitely 9/11 was a big turning point for that, with the authoritarianism. I can't speak. But with the nationalism and giving up our freedoms for no real reason. Like the TSA. We could go on about the TSA for a while. Oh yeah, for sure. This guy now. I think once we get this guy to a point that I like him, we get to take off the masking fluid and do the water droplets. And then once we do the water droplets, I think we're done. And then we can go wander off into the sunset. Or the afternoon, if it's me, I guess. Everybody else is like closer to evening. Thank you, Sleepy. Yeah, I think the color on this is really good. I think this will make a nice card. Because once I get this done, I can order. Although I haven't fully decided when I'm gonna do that. But ordering greeting cards of this one and the lovebirds that we did. This one. For this month is gonna be a thing. The greeting card company that I bought my other greeting cards from, which are available in the store now, by the way. I released them this morning, so you can go get postcards and greeting cards in my shop today. But they're going to be raising their prices because of the tariff situation, which is what made me think of that. So I want to get that order in, even if I'm not going to be putting them in my shop right away. I don't think that the price hike is going to change what I charge for them, but I'll have to wait and see how much it raises. I try to keep everything like fairly stable and reasonable, but there's only so much I can do, because the world is a shithole. Yeah, for sure, Tens. It's that I forget what the theory is called, and either you or Arya will probably know, where like after one generation, people will forget what it was like before. I mean, even just the intention is important, I think, Arya. So people just like accept that as the new normal. So like for instance, this is like a more maybe innocuous example, but like when I was growing up in Portland, Oregon, getting snow was not usual. Like we never got snow. We got snow while I was living there maybe 3 times, and it shut the entire city down every time. That's normal for Portland now to get a snowy winter because of climate change. And so by the time I'm dead, nobody will remember that that's weird weather. Because of how rapidly things change and how cultural memory works. Which is wild to think about. Does this one? No, it doesn't. Some of these have like a line like right here where the like pedal happens, but this one doesn't, so I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I'm tired, I guess is the long or the short version of the long version, you know? Just being a person who has studied a lot of history, it's kind of exhausting to see how many things we're repeating. Yeah, for sure, Parker. And like also in Portland, there was one summer where I was there where it got to 104 degrees, and that made like 24-hour news because it was so unusual. That's normal for summer there now. Like they're regularly getting up to like 115, which is ridiculous. Like it's such a drastic change, and I feel like I'm sure every generation has felt like this about something, but for me, like the span of time in which I have been alive has been drastic changes for weather and also for technology and personal rights. And it's wild to see how all of those interact. Like being able to see that so clearly, especially because I've studied history as much as I have, and which areas of history I've studied, is like, ugh, I feel like, I don't know, bagel with googly eyes from Everything, or what's that movie called? Everything Everywhere All at Once? Is that right? You know what I mean. Yep, I'd agree with that, Arya, for sure. Because really, what we have and what we have always had is not a democracy, it's an oligarchy. It's never been about actual equality. It's been about keeping certain people in power. And, like, you can ignore that for a bit, but if you recognize the patterns and if you've studied history, and especially the progressive and gilded eras, which is what I focused a lot of my studying on in history, you can see the exact same patterns happening right now, and they've been happening. So, like, especially, we're headed rapidly towards company towns again, which is wild. Like, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, oh yeah, Amazon is going to make a little apartment building where all of their workers can stay, and they're going to pay you in script, and it's going to be great. It's like, did we not learn our lesson the first time? Can we please teach real history? Please, for the love of God. Please, please, please. We don't want to do this. It's wild. Because, like, the paternalism and capitalism, specifically, during the 1800s, you had people like Carnegie who were saying, you don't need to unionize because the company will take care of you. So we'll set up childcare, and we'll set up, a housing system, and we'll set up, a little gym and a library for you to use. We'll even have a little museum so you can come and look at art. So you don't need to unionize because look at how well we treat you. And that's exactly what we're going through right now, like note for note. And especially with health insurance. That's how health insurance started in the first place. That's where Blue Shield Providence got their start. Was they weren't a healthcare company to start out. They were a shipping company who became so good at giving their employees healthcare that they completely moved industries. It's always been a trap. Always. It's wild. And if you haven't, like, especially the way people talk about Ford, specifically, who was also really anti-Semitic, and we should not give him the table at any point, at any time. But if you read The Flivver King by Upton Sinclair, it's very short in comparison to Upton Sinclair's other works, and I think it's more approachable than a lot of his other stuff. But if you read that in this modern day and age, you will recognize every single note that happens in that story, which is about a worker who works for Ford, and how he dedicates himself to the company, and because of that, he expects the company to take care of him, and just falls so hard into the shit because he trusted the company in the first place. So if you haven't read that, and if you think that what I'm saying makes sense, I would suggest that you read it, because it really, I think, encapsulates how we are really repeating the same kind of battles that we've already done. And if we can learn from that history and avoid the same pitfalls, we will do better at it. But obviously the people who don't want us to know that, So, but anyway. Welcome to Soapbox Hours with Katie. Which I don't think anybody is really shocked by. Because I'm not particularly quiet about this shit. Which is part of why I decided to keep the political and social issues tag on my stream, because, like, even though they were, the reason that I did it in the first place was because they were vastly unclear about what queer issues counted as a sensitive topic, so I kind of kept it on there out of protest for a while. But, like, also we talk about this kind of shit because I know what's going on, man. Yeah. It was supposed to be the roaring 20s. But, I don't know. If you look at, I look at specifically, hi Sky, welcome into me tearing into the United States. How's it going? Good to see you. How was stream? Yeah. I remember at the beginning of that aria, like, because I knew about the Spanish flu, and I, like, looked into it because I didn't know a huge amount about, like, the solution to it, which it turns out there just wasn't one. It just kind of ran its course and killed a bunch of people. So I was looking at that and I was like, oh, well, we'll do better this time. We have better science. We have, vaccines. People know that vaccines do well, even if we have some people who, have decided. And I was so wrong. Like, I trusted way too hard for that. I'm looking back on that exact moment where I thought we were going to be okay. And I'm like, well, shit. That's kind of depressing, actually. But so what I was saying was the thing with a lot of fashion that you see in, like, for instance, the 1920s, the 1960s, and 70s, where you have really drastic clothing changes, is because you also have very drastic cultural change. So if you're trying to bring back that kind of fashion, what you're also bringing back is an ideology. And that ideology is what helps pave the way for the rise of fascism. Because you have a bunch of people acting very openly and against cultural norms that older people view as the correct way to do things. And so they react to that, and they react to that very drastically to make people fall back in line, which is really what fascism is about. At the end of the day, it's keeping people in line with the cultural norms. And obviously, the people who don't fit into the cultural norms with most fascism will end up dead. So if you're looking at, like, for instance, you're saying, oh, we wanted to bring back the fashion. The thing is, you cannot divide fashion and the cultural norms that created it. So in the 1920s, you have women showing their knees, and you have dress lines that specifically make a girlish form more boyish. You make it more androgynous. And that's so drastic that people respond to it. And they try to smash it down and try to smash down, the rising feminism and the equality movements. And the same thing happens in the 60s and 70s, where you have people, actually the Zoot Suit riots would also be a great example of that, where men who felt like they were being mistreated by the United States purposefully during the war effort used more fabric for their clothing as a protest. And in response, get their suits outlawed and get beaten to death by the police force, because the police are not actually there to protect people. They're there to protect cultural norms. Yeah, exactly, Sky. 100%. Yeah, so goth, punk, metal kind of situations definitely falls into line with that. And you end up with dress codes in schools and in workplaces changing to control what you can be and what you can think and still be able to support yourself. So, like, you cannot divide the way that clothing changes and the way that culture changes, that was what my grad student thesis was going to be about if I went to grad school. I started a preemptive research paper in one of my history classes about cultural change in the Gilded and Progressive area, which I mentioned before. Like cultural change as seen through clothing, because also in post-Civil War America, you have Reconstruction where a bunch of people are trying to figure out how to clothe slaves that they haven't had to figure out how to give real people clothes before. So, and also in response to that, you have a bunch of brands pop up that rely specifically on the clothing that slaves were wearing before. So that's where you come up with the Mammy caricature that becomes Aunt Jemima, that lasts until, like a few years ago. And those like cultural concepts are so tied to the clothing because it's tied to people's status and what different cultures view as important. So I looked at that. I looked at specifically how Lakota Sioux and Navajo clothing changed as they were basically being genocided. And one of the ways one of the important areas that makes it a genocide is cultural destruction. And part of the way you do that is by changing how people dress. So you see, like, for instance, with the Carlisle School, where people's hair is cut, because that's an important cultural icon, is the braids. and you see them dressed only in Western gear, and they aren't allowed to wear traditional clothing anymore. You see the destruction of buffalo as both a food source and a clothing source. And so you see over time how this cultural change shows up in how people dress. Because you dress, and especially if you're being subjugated, and if you're stuck in this hegemony so hard, you end up having to change how you dress to avoid violence. And that's especially true. You can see this over time, and not just in the Gilded and Progressive era that I was looking at, but you can see that with people of color regularly in the United States up until today, where, like for instance, African American fashions and hairstyles get more harshly policed than other styles. So like still a lot of traditional black hairstyles are considered unprofessional. And if you wear your pants a certain way, or, you know, that kind of stuff, if you have a do-rag, police are more likely to single you out and attack you. So it's like, I don't think, Arya, you meant to get me started on this little train of thought, but the fashion and the culture is very much connected, and you can see that over time. So yeah, you activated a trap card. But my whole like the culmination of my bachelor's degree was talking about that specifically. So there you go. But it is actually important stuff. Yep, exactly, Sky. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I unfortunately am of a size where I really can't get secondhand stuff, and a lot of overseas clothing is not made for somebody my size, so I'm forced by capitalism to do a lot of things that I would rather not do and support companies that I would rather not support, which is just an unfortunate fact of my existence in the current world that we live in. So it's also kind of wild how like a lot of people, when they hear fat people like me complain that they can't find clothes that fit, they always say, well, make your own. It's like, I can actually make my own clothes, and I do, but fabric is way more expensive than buying something that's cheap from fast fashion, and I only have so much money because of capitalism, right? It's like, it's not even a double-edged sword. It's one of those fucked up little triple-edged blades that are like outlawed because they make you bleed out so fast. Yeah, exactly, Sky. And why should I have to put in extra effort because the rest of the world has decided that I shouldn't exist the way that I exist? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of politics in clothes, I guess is the short version of what I would say. Yeah, theoretically, it's supposed to be a lot of options, but only if you match what they want you to be. And honestly, not even then. Oh yeah, all fair, Tens. Drive safe. But like, if the options are 35 different flavors of Oreos, I don't really give a shit. You know? Like, nothing beats the original. And Oreo isn't even the original. Oreo is a copycat of the original cream cookie. Just in case anybody was wondering. We got fooled by a copycat. Yeah, and that's like not a comfortable conversation, but it is very different to existing when you're fat. Um, so like for instance, I'm lucky to not have this problem, but well, I guess I do in some places. But for instance, there are a lot of chairs that um, people put in spaces that are supposed to be there for people who are disabled or people who need to sit like a waiting room or something that I don't fit into. So there's a difference between having a world that is actively made to be hostile to your body versus somebody being critical about you in a way that's uncomfortable. Right, Sky? God. I will hydrate. And hi, Dado. Good to see you. welcome to the rant channel today. Oh, geez, Sky. That's never fun. I mean, I guess it could be fun if you were a certain kind of person, but I am not that kind of person. Yeah, not shocked. 'Cause that is definitely a huge problem. Especially at events, honestly. They're really bad. I still remember I had a broken toe when I went to VidCon, which, like, of the ableism issues isn't that big of one. It was like my pinky toe. It's not a big deal. It does hurt when you walk around a bunch, and there was no place to sit there, like, at all, which was an issue. I ended up sitting on the floor a lot just because there, like, straight up was not another option. But, like, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous how little people think about everybody else's experiences. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, because the thing that people kind of forget or like to ignore with disabilities is that it can literally happen to anybody, and the reason you aren't disabled yet is because you've gotten lucky, either by genetics or by luck of not having an accident or whatever. Especially with something as widespread as COVID was, you can really see the disparity there. Because people just like to think that they're not disabled because they've done something right. But that isn't actuality. Which is part of the reason why I'm very specific about advocating for accessibility in places, even if it's not my kind of accessibility that I need. So, like, I definitely am the kind of person to call out a manager because they don't have their store set up in a way that a wheelchair can get through, which is illegal, just for the record. Or having a key to an elevator be with a desk guard is also illegal in the US, because it goes against the ADA, which we'll see how long that lasts under the current administration. But until then, I will still be fighting for other people. Have you looked at if you have hypermobility, Dadel? Oh, geez, Sky. Good on you for standing up for yourself, Sky. Like, you shouldn't have to, but okay. Just checking because like having a lot of joint injuries often is a sign of hypermobility. Yeah, good for you, Sky. Like, I'm sorry you had to do that, but I'm glad that you did. Yeah, ridiculous. Oh yeah, give us Sky is also hypermobile. I'm hypermobile. So yeah, I know, right? You'll notice that my wrist has been taped up for the majority of the month this month because it's been being an asshole to me. Um all of my joints have been awful. We've been having so much barometric pressure changes as the seasons are changing, kind of, that like all of my joints are bad. Especially the ones that I've subluxated multiple times. So like my hip, especially my left hip, is so mad at me. It's so mad at me. My thumb that I subluxated is killing me. My shoulder that I subluxated is killing me. Like, can we stop, please? Yeah, it can affect your different joints differently, Aria. So like my worst ones are my ankles and my hips. My wrists are also pretty bad. Um, but yeah, it can affect all of your joints differently, and it gets worse for me. I don't think anybody else who is speaking right now would have this issue, but it also we can get back to this topic. It gets worse with my menstrual cycle because one of the things about progesterone and estrogen is that they mess with your connective tissue, so they'll like loosen your connective tissue because basically when your body is prepping to get all the blood out of your body, it's destroying connective tissue. So it makes everything loosen up, which means you're more likely, if you're hypermobile, to fuck up a joint. Which is great. I love that for me. Which is how I subluxated this thumb, actually. Was because it was the right week and I tied my bathrobe wrong and subluxated my thumb. It's awful. Yeah, it is. At least, so like, at least I know now that that's the issue. I didn't know that for a long time. Joy, who has also written a great book, you guys should read Joy's book if you haven't, saw a photo that I posted of my hand because we were comparing like finger reach. And so I did this on a ruler basically to show how far apart I can get my hands. And she looked at my thumb and went, "Your thumb is hyperextended." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can see that is hyperextended." I didn't realize that. This is just normal for me. Like, that's just what happens. And that's because my ligaments don't work the way they're supposed to. So Joy was like, "Hey, you have hypermobility." And I was like, "Ah, shit. Stop diagnosing me with stuff, Joy." Yes, the audiobook is really good for that. And brain work, please. Spotify has just added audiobooks to Europe, and her audiobook is on Spotify. So if you use Spotify, which a lot of people don't for political reasons, totally valid. But if you do, it is on Spotify now for Europe specifically. It already was for the US. Yeah, that sounds like hypermobility, Aria. Yeah, if your hip pops out and you fall, that was my issue too when I was growing up, and people thought I was being dramatic. So yeah, you should look up the home EDS test. Because yeah. Yeah. I had Rainbow do it too. Actually, I keep diagnosing people with it. Now that Joy got me, I notice. Thank you, Sky. I notice things, and I'm like, wait, wait. Also, it's particularly comorbid with ADHD and autism. So like any neurodivergency, really, but those two specifically. So there you go. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. It sucks here, but you know. Okay, I need to do little bobbles down here. And then I think maybe we're set to peel off the masking fluid. And then I can do these drops. Well, do I want to do the drops today? I've been live for a while. Maybe I want to save the drops for Tuesday. And then that'll give us something to do and I don't need to think about something else to do. Because I've got a lot of stuff on my plate to get ready. Because I have surgery next month, so... It would be nice if I didn't have to think extra, you know? Oh, also, there's some people here who aren't in, but we have a Discord now. Stars and I put one together. So if you want to keep track of me while I'm not streaming because I just had surgery, you can check in with the Discord. And many thanks to Stars for doing like all of the tech work for that. Because that kind of stuff makes me crazy, but she's super good at it, so... I don't know that it's really stalking if I invite you. But I am not going to be streaming for the second half of May. I do have my schedule on Twitch updated to show when I'm going to be streaming before surgery, but I'm not doing a set date for when I come back because I have schedule autism and I know that I will hold to that even if I don't feel like I'm ready. So I'm not giving a date for when I'll be back. I'm going to play that by ear, which is horrifying for me, but I'm going to do it. Awesome, welcome in. So yeah, if you want to know, I'll probably talk about it on Tumblr too. I'll try to be good about posting it on socials. But the best place is definitely the Discord. That's where I'll put information first. Is that a date or a rating, Arya? What did I get 6 out of 9 on? Oh no, that's your score. Yeah, got it. I figured it out. Yeah. Yep, got it. I got there eventually. But yeah. Welcome to the club. But it like just knowing is kind of like it helps you keep track of it. For sure. And also, since it is a connective tissue disorder, it is something to keep an eye out, especially with like heart health. Because some of the rarer forms of EDS can definitely like do fuck with your heart pretty significantly. So a good thing to keep an eye on and know about. Trying to decide what else I want to do to this. I do know that Rainbow has started, so that's who I want to raid today for sure. I like hanging out with Rainbow. Rainbow's cool. I think maybe I want to darken up this shadow a bit. And then I think we'll probably end. I might peel the masking fluid off before we go, actually, just so that I don't have to worry about it. At least on this side that we haven't worked on in a bit. I might let this side dry a little bit more before I peel it off, because it can damage the paper. Yeah, hypermobile often goes along with those. Also, gastrointestinal issues often. Same with neurodivergency in general for that too. Right? Please, please. Ooh, nice, Dadle. That sounds fun. Yeah. Also, I discovered this in my own little random research, but there is a link between depression and gastrointestinal issues and bladder issues because dopamine is essential in helping regulate your intestinal system. And nobody thought to tell me that when I was diagnosed with a bladder disorder at 19. It's like, why did I have to find that out myself, like, almost 20 years later? Ridiculous. Yep. But yeah, if I had put all of these pieces together earlier with information that I didn't have, my life would be a little bit different, I think. It's just so silly. Oh, interesting, Aria. Yeah, I mentioned earlier on stream that I stopped taking one of my antidepressants with direct doctor approval and directed and all that stuff. Because I didn't want to be on one that caused withdrawal before I went into surgery. Because chances are that I'm not going to take I'm not supposed to take my medication before I go in for surgery. So, like, we wanted to test me going off of that anyway, just to see if the other one that I'm on was fine. And like, wait, yeah, I had a combo. So I was doing Lexapro and Wellbutrin, well, the generics, but those names are easier to remember. Which are often given in combo, but Wellbutrin is also, yeah, bupropion is the generic name for it. But it also is prescribed off-label as a non-stimulant ADHD medication. So I accidentally medicated myself without realizing it. It is, Aria, it is, because it messes with your dopamine levels, right? Which is one of the major things about ADHD, is that your brain doesn't make enough dopamine. It also is often prescribed to middle-aged women going through menopause because it increases sexual function. Just in case anybody's wondering. But yeah, it's helped me a lot, Aria. Like, I started taking it, I was like, oh my god, I can do tasks without having to, like, wedge myself in. This is beautiful. So I think Wellbutrin is changing my life in a great way. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, Dadle, 100%. So, yeah. I'm just teaching you so many things today, Aria. You're welcome. But yeah, so I've just been on that one for a little over a month. And the reason I was put on the antidepressants in the first place is because my PMDD is so bad. Oh my god, Sky. Yeah, I think we're all just discovering that we accidentally medicated ourselves for a bunch of issues that we have instead of just the one we were aiming for. Yeah, same, Aria. It really has been great for me for, like, it's easier to get out of bed in the morning for sure. And, like, some days I still have a rough time doing that, but, like, yeah, I would. Look at the world. But I do notice a difference now that I'm just on the Wellbutrin versus the Lexapro Wellbutrin combo. But the side effects from the Lexapro are, like, so bad that I don't know that I really want to. Like, I think I'd rather deal with the rougher days that I've been having than have to deal with the side effects from that. So, I don't know. But that isn't an issue to worry about now. That is an issue for future Katie. That's an issue for healed up after surgery, Katie. I've kind of always been like that. I've always been really bad at sleeping, honestly. Like, I have a hard time getting to sleep. I have a hard time staying asleep. If I wake up, I tend to wake up and stay awake, and it's really bad. But part of that, I think, is complex PTSD, which I'm not diagnosed for, but like, girl, something ain't right. And I do have some capital T traumas that it would make sense for with that. And honestly, I've had enough hospital staff ask me if I have PTSD that I think that kind of counts as a diagnosis, honestly. But yeah. Woohoo. I also hate naps, Aria. It fucks with my momentum. Like, I'm such a momentum person. If I'm doing something, I want to keep doing something. If I'm not doing something, I want to keep not doing something, which is why I have so much problem with sleeping. Because it messes with you, you know? And I've said that specific phrase, I'm just a person, like a momentum person, my entire life, and nobody went, you have trouble changing tasks. That's a sign of ADHD and autism. Nobody said that to me. I discovered it myself. Like, holy shit. How many things do I need to discover on my own? This is ridiculous. Oh man, how do you I don't understand how you do 15 minutes. It takes me 2 hours to fall asleep. Like how? People are like, just take a little half-hour nap, and I'm like, a half hour, like if I want to be asleep for a half hour, I need to be in bed for at least 3 hours. Like, my brain doesn't work like that. What's that like? Ah, fair, Sky. Yeah, I don't think I have insomnia. I think I'm just bad at sleeping. Bad at changing tasks. Which is part of the reason why, especially on stream, if you hang out a lot, you've noticed that I will say at least 15 minutes before I'm planning on ending stream, I'm going to do XYZ and then end stream. Because I need to prepare myself for changing tasks. Oh, that's good, Sleepy. That's probably a good sign for your noggin. Yep, I sure did. I do it a lot. That's so funny, Dadel. Just like, did you ever fail at being funny so bad that you put a guy to sleep? Yep, Like, I know that I do that. Partially, I do that because it's easier on my brain, but I also, like, I don't need to say that part out loud for it to be easier on my brain. But I figure that if it's easier for my brain, considering how neurodivergent people all kind of flock together like fucked up geese, I figure it'll be helpful for somebody else who's in my chat. Yeah, I think that's maybe still too wet. Maybe up here it'll be okay. Yeah, I think a lot of comedians, especially comedians in like specifically when I was watching a lot of comedy, I guess, maybe I know that, but specifically comedians in the early 2000s were really like that. Where it's just like, let's pick on somebody. And it's just like, that's not funny though. That's just you being lazy. It is Friday. Okay. Even though this might tear the paper, I think I'm gonna just do it because I don't think it's really that big a deal if it does. And then we're gonna go hang out with Rainbow. Ooh, yeah, that really is tearing the paper. We're committed at this point, though. It's only this little bit left, so. I do need to take a progress photo before we go to Rainbow's so that I can give her art tax. Nice! We love a day off of work. So this looks ridiculous right now because there's just a whole bunch of paper white on there. But we're going to shade all those water drops in next time, and then it will look good. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I cannot do...
Look after my friend, Katie.
Oh, there was
No.
Al. I love that we got both the uncommons today from people redeeming that. I will do you one better than a go piss girl, BP, because I'm ending stream. So I'll go take a real big girl break. We're gonna go bother Rainbow, which I think for a lot of us means that you're just gonna be merging tabs. Because we love Rainbow. I did not switch over to my ending screen, because that's what's happening right now. I will take a switch. Yeah, sure. I can't full on chug because I have ice in here and I'll give myself a headache. But I promise I will finish this entire water bottle. Just for you. Well, just for both of you, I guess. I took off the timer on that one time when I was sick because I had a fever and I was still streaming. Yeah, I don't, Stars, because I specifically took it off. Yeah, I think because of Daniel, we will need to put the cooldown back on. But I'm ending stream anyway, and I need to empty my water anyway into my body is a good choice. And then I will refill it. What was I doing? Oh, I was gonna go put a cooldown on that right now before I forget, because I will forget. I want this. I could actually just do that from here. I changed my mind. I can do this a different way. I want to go to this, and then I want to go to this, and then I want to go here. The way that Twitch has everything set up makes absolutely no sense. It's like somebody made a filing system, but like had never seen a filing system before. Where is it? There it is. Edit view. Okay, there. We're putting the 2-minute cooldown back on it. That usually chills people out a little bit. We'll see if we need to up it specifically because of Daniel. We're gonna go raid Rainbow. If you haven't hung out with Rainbow before, she's super cool, nice, very colorful, very fun. I will also demand a fit check from her because she is fucking fit. It's true. And I mean, I think that the difference between an actual troll and just somebody who's doing a hee-hee is malicious intent, and I don't think that you have malicious intent. But Rainbow is working on the sub drawing, which is oh, okay, thanks BP. But she's working on a sub drawing, which is a drawing that she does every month of every single one of her subscribers. It's fucking crazy this month because she just did a subathon for her streamiversary. And her last one had 69 subs in it. That was last month. This month has, like, the last time I looked, it was like 285. So that's a bit of a number increase, and it's going to be great to see how she manages to fit all of those little meep shapes into her drawing. The theme this year for her sub drawings is board games, and really it's tabletop games in general because she also has D&D as one of the months. So I think if you haven't hung out with Rainbow before, and I see you in my chat now, that seems like something you'd be interested in looking at. Because I know y'all be nerds. Nerds affectionate. So thanks for hanging out, thanks for being here. We are gonna, like I said, raid Rainbow, and I will finish my water for all of you, I promise. I will be live again on Tuesday evening. well, it's afternoon for me. It's probably evening for the rest of you because Alaska is very far in the past, time-wise. And we only have a few streams until I take a hiatus for surgery, which we talked about multiple times today. But I will say it again. The other thing is that postcards and greeting cards are now live in my online shop. So you should go hop on over there and snag some because there are limited quantities because I'm testing out interest with these. So some of them might not come back based on, and like I might not reorder depending on how long it takes. Thank you, Stars. I should copy my own raid command. That's the other thing I should do. Or my own raid message. That's the word I want. The combination of the way Twitch does chat now and my computer being slow as fuck when I'm streaming means that it is like impossible to copy and paste that. Stars is putting raid commands in chat again. The first one has emoji that you can use anywhere on Twitch, no matter your subscription status. The second one has an emote that you can use if you are subscribed to my channel, so please copy and paste the one that is relevant to you while we go and visit our friend Rainbow. I'm gonna actually start the raid. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being nice to me. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to me jump on like 3 different soapboxes during this entire stream. I guess I had some hot takes today. Although I don't think they're hot takes for me. I think they're kind of cold takes. Everybody knows. Like lukewarm takes. They've been sitting out for a while and people have seen them and maybe there's a fly on them. I don't know. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Remember that you're loved because I love you. And if you can't take care of or be kind to yourself or yourself, please do so for me because I think that you're awesome and deserve nice things, including from yourself, even on the days when it's really hard. So let's work on being nicer to ourselves and then we can meet up back here next time and we can talk about all our little victories, okay? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's go say hi to Rainbow and I hope you all have a good day. Bye.